said pituitary gland. Okay, that's pretty popular. You could also have said hypothalamus, thing right here. And you could also say pineal, which is this little guy over here. Okay, pineal gland. So here, here, and here. So in this picture, just so you know, this is a mid-sagittal cut, right? So it's right down the midline of the nose. The pituitary is right in the middle, so it is perfectly halved. So you're looking at the half of the pituitary gland. The hypothalamus, though, is different. Okay, same thing with the pineal. Pituitary and the pineal is perfectly in the middle, so we cut them in half. The hypothalamus, though, this is different. The hypothalamus is not right in the middle. It's just off center, and there is a space. There's a space where number 18 is. So that's why in 18 we call it the third ventricle. Okay, that's a space. Okay, so this is a little sneak preview of next week because we go right to the brain next week. So, like I said, right in the midline is a little space right here, and that's called the third ventricle. The hypothalamus is just the wall of the third ventricle. You guys understand? Okay. So the midline. Okay. So just imagine if see how there's a space between my hands, right? Okay. So this would be the third ventricle. Okay. The space right in the midline is called the third ventricle. However, the hypothalamus is my actual hand. That makes sense? So the hand is this area here, the palm, the outside of the backside of my hand, that would be the hypothalamus. So that's why in this picture, they call that space the third ventricle, which is correct, because it's midline. But that wall right there, that's the hypothalamus. That make sense? You guys understand what I'm saying? Okay. Give me a nod or something. Okay. All right. So those three glands are up in the brain. Okay. And then going down your list, thyroid gland is in the airway. You guys remember that? You saw that in the thyroid cartilage with airway a couple weeks ago. Well, right there's a fleshy gland. Here we go. So on this model, the thyroid cartilage is a little higher. That's your Adam's apple. Right below it is the thyroid gland. Okay, it's a fleshy gland. In some people who have a thyroid problem, you can see it actually. It kind of pops up here in their neck. Okay, but just know it's right below the thyroid cartilage. Okay, and then the suprarenal and adrenal gland that we saw, yes, on top of the kidney, adrenal. So the kidney way back in the back wall, and there's this little yellow thing on top of the kidney. So here we go on this model here. So oftentimes, when you see kidney, okay, so here's the thyroid gland below the thyroid cartilage. Okay, and it's on both sides. This side I just took the gland off, but just know it's symmetrical. Okay, symmetrical. All right, so kidneys, we just did, right, earlier this week? So on top of the kidney are these two triangular looking things, and that's the adrenal gland. Okay, or also known as the suprarenal gland. Okay, adrenal or suprarenal gland. All right. Here we go. So in this picture, they show you the adrenal gland. Okay, the adrenal gland. Okay, what else is on this? Pancreas. Did we see pancreas already?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then ovaries and testes. We saw those already as well, right? Okay, so yeah, the endocrine system in terms of lab is pretty straightforward. All right, any questions? Recognizing the structures? Okay, well then, I'm gonna go straight into the lecture now. So that was lab. Go to the lecture. For the lecture, I'm gonna go to my laptop. For the lecture, what you need to understand about this chapter is, first of all, what's the difference between endocrine and exocrine? Which one has ducts? Exo, right? So exocrine, they're both glands, right? Exocrine gland, they empty into a duct. Empty to ducts. So, last week you saw the pancreas, right? What was that kind of fishbone-like thing running through the pancreas? You guys remember? The pancreatic duct. Agree? So when the pancreas makes stuff and it goes into the pancreatic duct, then the stuff that the pancreas makes is going to be exocrine substance. Okay? So like what? Where did we see pancreas before? We saw pancreas in what system? Digestive system. And in that chapter, it made enzymes to break down food. Agree? So the enzymes to break down food, that's exocrine function of the pancreas. Because it goes into the duct, you guys remember? And it goes into the small intestine. Today, we're going to talk about endocrine as being, pancreas as endocrine gland. And here, it will empty to blood. Okay. The hormones. Okay, so endocrine glands make hormones, and they will go to the bloodstream. Okay, aha. Bloodstream again. So you see what I'm going with this is, this week, you're going to learn where the glands are, and they're going to make hormones, and where's it going to go? Into the blood. And then it's going to travel around the body. Okay. And it's going to go to a target. So it makes hormones from blood to some kind of target. And then you see its effect. Okay. So endocrine glands, in a nutshell, this whole chapter is about the glands, what hormones it makes, where's the target, and what's the effect. The glands, hormones, target, what's the effect? Okay. So with that said, well, let me kind of continue on with the pancreas example. So the pancreas in this chapter, we're going to talk about the endocrine function of the pancreas, which means it's going to make a hormone called, anyone know?
Insulin.
Insulin and glucagon. Yeah. Most of you probably already heard of insulin because of diabetes, yes? Okay, so the pancreas, for this week, is going to make insulin because that's part of endocrine gland. And what does insulin do?
Regulates blood sugar.
Yes, regulate blood sugar. So pancreas is the gland. It's going to make insulin, that's the hormone. It's going to go into the bloodstream. Okay, insulin is going to the bloodstream. To do what? The effect is to regulate blood sugar. Okay, regulate blood sugar. Now, how does it do that? Well, the target of insulin is actual muscle cells in the body. So the muscle cell will actually take in glucose. And the muscle cell takes in glucose, what happens to the blood sugar? It will drop. So that's how I regulate blood sugar. Okay, you gotta put it somewhere, right? Sugar, glucose is in the blood, so it's too high, there's too much. So the muscle cells will actually take the glucose out of the bloodstream, and thereby blood sugar drops down. So that's how I want you to approach this chapter is glands, what hormones they make, it goes into the blood, what's the target, and why, what's the effect. Does that make sense? Okay, now let me kind of back up in terms of blood flow. Okay, gosh, you should be like tired of blood flow by now. So, glands making hormones. So let's pick on pancreas, because you all saw pancreas, it's right here, agree? Once it makes its insulin, for example, by the way, it also makes glucagon, but once it makes its insulin, what blood vessel would pick it up? Yeah.
The hepatic portal?
Yes, it will go to the hepatic, keep going, what's the rest of the name? Hepatic
Portal.
Portal vein?
portal vein. Because that's the vessel draining the abdominal area, right?
Yeah.
So the pancreas is gonna make insulin, it's gonna go into the hepatic portal vein and takes it where? It would take it to the liver, good, from last week, right? Let's keep going. From the liver, it goes to what vessel? Hepatic vein. Hepatic vein will take it to the inferior vena cava, and that will take it to the
Left, right.
right
Right
atrium.
atrium.
And then it goes to the heart, agree?
Yeah.
And then it goes out of the heart via what vessel? The aorta. And then it's gonna go to muscle in the body. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's gonna be the case. The hormones are gonna go into a vein, goes back to the heart, goes through the heart and lung, and then find whatever the target site is, out the artery. And that closes the loop of blood flow. And that's what you should prepare for this week, yes.
So when it makes insulin and it goes to the body, like, is it going to the entire body or is it just going to go on specific sites?
Okay, yeah, this is what I'm trying to get you to understand is, the pancreas makes insulin, it's gonna have to go into venous blood. Agree? Venous blood draining the pancreas is the hepatic portal vein. And then it's gonna have to make its way back to the heart. Okay, then from the heart, it can now leave via the aorta, right? The aorta, and then it depends on where it needs to go. I mean, the blood can go to muscles in the arm, muscles in the torso, muscles in the leg. So it doesn't go throughout the whole body, but it will go to one of the body sites so that the muscle cell would take up the blood sugar, take up the insulin. Does that answer your question? Okay, and that's gonna be how I want you to think about these hormones. So yes, it goes into the blood, but remember, it's gonna be venous blood, right? It's gonna be venous blood. And then it has to go back to the heart, through the lungs, out the aorta, to wherever the target is. Okay? You guys understand that? Okay, so prepare for that type of question for this upcoming test. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you about is there's a special relationship between the hypothalamus and the pituitary. It's a little complicated, so I am going to bring up the slides. as you can see, first question on the quiz, I asked you about the glands in the brain, right? Okay, so there they are. And then I also asked you question number 2, give me one hormone made by the brain, right? There you go. Pick your pick. You can say antidiuretic hormone, oxytocin, regulatory hormone, this whole list, or melatonin. Okay, so lots of answers to choose from. Whatever you want, as long as it makes sense. Okay. Then the second question I asked you was name a gland in the abdominal pelvic cavity. Agree? So that includes this, the pancreas, the testes, and the ovaries. Okay. So pick your pick, and then whatever you choose, you should give me the hormones made by those glands. And obviously, we talked about the ovary making estrogen and progesterone last time. Yes. A lot of you guys already know testes makes testosterone, right? And pancreas here, we just talked about making insulin, glucagon, that hormone right there. The other are not as popular. The two biggies are the two first ones. Okay. And then the adrenal gland, that's on top of the kidney, it makes corticosteroids, epinephrine, norepinephrine. So, like I said, whatever you pick, whatever you write down, make sure the answer to the hormones correspond.
For pancreatic islets, is that the like name of it, or could you say pancreatic gland? Would that be incorrect?
Yeah. Remember, the pancreas is the organ, right? Pancreatic islet is the actual little cluster of cells that make hormones,
Okay.
whereas the rest of the pancreas makes enzyme to digest food. So, pancreas is the organ, but inside the pancreas, you have little islets, little islands. Literally, it translates to little islands of cells that will make these hormones.
So those aren't glands.
Well, pancreas is a gland, so I'm okay with you saying pancreas, but let's be a little more specific in anatomy. Is inside the pancreas, there are two clusters of cells. One cluster called the islet that does endocrine. The other one is we call acinar, and it does digestive enzyme. Okay, so it's two populations of cells. Yeah, so this is just a little more specific. Okay. All right. Then my last question this morning was, give me an organ that also makes hormone, but is not the primary function of that organ. You guys remember? So what do you guys think?
Kidneys.
Brain. Okay. Well, actually, brain is not the best answer, but okay, I'll take brain. What else?
Kidney.
Kidney. Kidney, we just talked about last time, was making urine, agree? But you know what? It also makes these hormones for us. Okay, so the primary function of kidney is to make urine, but it also makes hormones. So that would be a good answer. What else? What else do you see up here?
The heart.
Heart, exactly. So we talked about the heart a few weeks ago, and we know it pumps blood, right? That's the primary function of the heart. But today, endocrine chapter, the heart will make hormones for us as well. Okay. What else? What else up here?
GI tract.
GI tract. G. We talked about GI tract last week, yes? And you know it has to do with digestion, correct? That's the primary function. But today, with endocrine, it also makes a bunch of hormones for us as well. So, I just want to call your attention to these various structures in your body that does more than one job. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So that's the overview. Kind of quickly go. We talk about endocrine, exocrine. Okay. This is a little bit of physiology, which I'm going to skip. You're going to cover this next semester, but kind of ties it in with anatomy. Peptide. What does that word remind you of? Polypeptide, which is another word for protein. You guys remember? Way back day one? Proteins are made up of what molecules? Amino acids, there you go. So hormones can be peptide hormones, which is basically saying they're protein hormones. Agree? Okay, hormones can also be steroid hormones, which means what? They're made from cholesterol. Okay, so they're fatty, yeah? And like what? Like testosterone. In fact, anything that ends in O, O-N-E, testosterone, progesterone, those are steroid hormones, okay? They're going to become important next semester when you talk about how they work, okay, which is physiology. But I'm just introducing them now. And then there are smaller, what we call just amines, basically amino acids, that can serve as hormones as well. And an example would be thyroid hormone. Okay? So like I said, tying it to day one becomes important next semester when we talk about how they work. Maybe the feedback loop, that's next semester. Okay, this is physiology. So don't worry too much. And positive feedback loop, same thing. Don't worry about that.